Welcome to the Edmond School District's informational presentation on the 2024 School Construction Bond and Replacement Technology and Capital Levy. We would like to begin with the land acknowledgement. We acknowledge the original inhabitants of this place, the Snohomish people and their successors, the Tulalip tribes, who since time immemorial have taken care of, hunted, fished, and gathered on these lands. We respect their sovereignty, their right to self-determination, and we honor their sacred, spiritual connection with the land and water. By acknowledging these homelands, we commit to working with tribal nations to further the education aims they have identified in our classrooms and schools. The agenda for this presentation includes the why behind consideration for a bond and replacement levy in the special election on February 13th, 2024, the input and development of both measures, how we got here, what the proposed school construction bond projects include, as well as a review of the proposed replacement, technology, and capital levy projects. And then we will also go over financing for both measures. Let's begin with the why. School districts must provide local resources or tax dollars to cover the majority of the costs for facilities projects. State funds are limited by a formula. Some costs are not recognized, and the legislature sets the maximum allocation. The state typically only allocates limited funds to new or replacement schools. There's no state funding set aside for many of our districts' needed upgrade and renewal projects. For example, when it came to the replacement of Spruce Elementary School, state funding covered approximately 7.7% of the total cost of the project. Another factor is that of the 34 school campuses in our district, 15 were built more than 50 years ago and have not been replaced. A group called the Facility Advisory Committee provided input and developed a proposed plan for a 2024 school construction bond. The committee was made up of parents, community members, certificated and classified staff, principals, as well as capital project staff. They spent about 10 months preparing a bond recommendation for the school board that built off of previous committee work. The Facility Advisory Committee had 4 objectives: educational equity, improve student learning, community value, and building for the future. Their strategies were instruction drives construction, site safety, and move 6th grade to middle school. There are a number of considerations for combining grades 6, 7, and 8 for middle school. First, learning standards shift considerably between 5th and 6th grade. These standards and curricular materials are typically designed in the following grade bands: kindergarten through 5th, then 6th through 8th, and then 9th through 12th. Moving 6th grade to middle school also provides more access to activities and more course offerings, as well as access to lab sciences that aren't available at the elementary level, as we do not have labs at elementary schools. With the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade middle school model, students have a greater sense of belonging as they are in school for 3 years versus just 2 years. The goal is to complete all middle school construction, including a 5th middle school, for the start of the 2028-29 school year. That would mean that this year's 1st graders would be the first group of students to attend middle school as 6th graders. The proposed bond projects are: complete Oak Heights Elementary on an accelerated basis. The bond would replace the 2021 capital levy, replace College Place Middle and College Place Elementary, build a 5th middle school at the former Alderwood Middle School location, replace Westgate Elementary. The proposed bond would also provide funding for renewal and upgrade projects, things like safety and accessibility improvements, replacing fields and tracks, as well as replacing HVAC systems. Let's first talk about Oak Heights Elementary School. This is an aerial view of Oak Heights Elementary in Linwood today. It was built in 1967. It currently has 8 portable classrooms on campus due to the population growth in the area. The design of the new Oak Heights Elementary School can be seen here. It is currently being funded by the 2021 capital levy. If the 2024 school construction bond is passed, it would replace the 2021 capital levy, allowing the school to be completed on an accelerated schedule. Now we'll transition to talking about College Place Elementary and Middle Schools in Linwood and include a trip through time. This slide is a walk back in time to College Place Middle School in 1970. Fast forward to 2023, and you can see that though car styles have changed a bit, College Place looks the same. Here is an aerial view of College Place Middle School today. You can see the open campus design, which was common in the time period that this school was built. In addition to replacing College Place Middle School, the district would also replace College Place Elementary, which you see in this image. Both buildings are more than 50 years old. Here is an aerial view of both schools today. You can also see the fields as part of the campus. A pre-planning concept shows you how a new College Place campus could look. You can see on the left of the screen that the elementary and middle schools would have shared spaces, but still have separate entrances. This design also moves the middle school off the main roads. Now we'll talk about the 5th middle school. In order to accommodate moving 6th grade to middle school, the district would build a 5th middle school at the former Alderwood Middle School location. In this image, you can see a pre-planning concept of what the new school could look like. Now let's talk about Westgate Elementary School in Edmonds. Replacing this school is also part of the proposed bond. This building opened to students in 1958. Possible configuration for the replacement of Westgate Elementary could be similar to the J design that was used to replace Linwood Elementary School. Let's talk about the bond renewal and upgrade projects. The proposed bond would also include renewal and upgrade projects, including safety and accessibility improvements and upgrades to fields and tracks. It will also cover boiler and HVAC replacements and upgrades, as well as roofs, windows, doors, and lighting needs. Many of these proposed projects would improve energy efficiency and reduce overall district resources used to meet the Washington State Energy Code and Clean Buildings Act. The estimated cost of the bond projects is $594 million. You can see here how that number is broken down for the various proposed projects. Let's transition now to talking about Proposition 2, the Replacement Technology Capital Levy. The other measure going to voters on February 13th is the Replacement Technology and Capital Levy. This proposed plan would continue the district's commitment to providing technology for student learning and capital facility improvements. A cross-functional technology planning task force, consisting primarily of Edmonds teaching staff, led the development of the objectives and initiatives for the proposed levy. Additionally, input was gathered from the Superintendent's Student Advisory Committee, a Chromebox Replacement Committee, district and program leadership, and digital learning coaches and leadership. The proposed plan focuses on 3 areas. The first, student technology. That includes Chromebooks, digital tools and subscriptions, student home internet access, classroom technology stations, and translation tablets. The next focus area is professional learning. This provides instructional technology coaching for our schools, as well as professional development for all our staff. The third focus area for the technology piece is infrastructure and tools to support the district. These include our network infrastructure and cybersecurity tools. The proposed replacement technology and capital levy is estimated at $120 million over 4 years. Let's transition into talking about the financing of these measures. Bond financing is not new. The image you see here is of an actual Edmonds School District bond from 1953. If approved, the 2024 Replacement Technology and Capital Levy will replace the expiring 2020 levy. The amount to be levied each year would be $30 million each year for 4 years. We want to show you a historic and projected look at property taxes for our school district. When you look at this bar graph, you can see that the tax rate is expected to increase to $2.65 in 2024. This is due to an increase in assessed valuation, also referred to as AV. It is expected that the AV will flatten in 2025 and stay consistent with 2024. It's important to understand that there is an inverse relationship between tax rate and assessed valuation. I want to break down the actual and estimated tax rate comparison for you. For 2023, the combined tax rate for levies and bonds is $2.62. For 2024, it is estimated that amount will go up by 3 cents. It is expected to stay consistent for 2025. This is because the district would discontinue the 2021 capital levy if the bond measure is approved. We want to talk a little more about understanding the tax rate. Here are a few key points. Tax rate is dependent on the value of all homes and businesses in the district. As the district grows, more taxpayers share the costs, so growth leads to a broader distribution of expenses. If the replacement technology and capital levy is approved, the annual payment is limited to $30 million regardless of assessed value in the district. The bond amount, if approved, is also capped at the dollar amount. Tax collections for schools are different from many other government funding measures, which charge by rate, not a capped amount. Property value versus property taxes. Your taxes depend on the assessed value of all properties in the district. Total levy and bond dollars collected are capped. Remember, your cost is all about your share of the pie based on your property's assessed value. A property value increase does not necessarily equal a local school property tax increase, as it is relative to other properties. Similarly, a property value decrease does not necessarily mean a local school property tax decrease due to the overall distribution of taxes in the district. Let's give an example. Let's say that the yearly total cost for levies and bonds for an imaginary school district is $1,000. In that imaginary school district, there are 3 homeowners and 1 business owner. Each property owner's share of the levies and bonds is determined by their own property's assessed value. In this graphic, we show each of the 3 homes have an assessed value of $625,000, and 1 commercial property has an assessed value of $2,125,000. The 3 homeowners pay the same yearly taxes, and the commercial property owner pays more based on the assessed value. If all the properties in our imaginary school district increased in assessed value by 20%, for example, the amount of tax due would be the same, but the tax rate would decrease. Let's reverse that example. If all properties decreased in assessed value by 20%, the amount of tax would be the same because remember, the total cost is capped, but the tax rate would increase. Here's another scenario. If a new property is built, the new property will share in the tax bill, also known as pay some of the pie, making taxes actually go down for the original 3 houses and 1 business. The proposed 2024 school construction bond and replacement technology and capital levy will go before the voters as part of the special election taking place on Tuesday, February 13th, 2024. If you have any additional questions after watching this presentation, please email us at communications@edmonds.wednet.edu. You can also find more information on the district's website. Thank you for taking the time to watch this recording of the district's informational presentation.